Hello, this is Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Welcome home.
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey, it's Amy from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey Clubbers, it's Scott from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, it's Kathleen from DVC Clubhouse.
Welcome aboard. It's Phil from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Debrief podcast brought to you by DVC Clubhouse. This is Amy, and I'm joined as always by Phil, Scott, and Kathleen. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Hi guys.
Welcome aboard, guys. And she said as always, but she's been gone the last two episodes. So I'm not sure that's truly accurate.
As always.
Well,
As always.
when I'm here, it's as always. What happens when I'm not here doesn't really count.
It's been me and you. It's been me, Scott, and Kathleen. There's no as always.
Well, I'm joined by as the intention always is, by my fellow co-hosts, Phil, Scott, and Kathleen.
We always have good
Sometimes it's
intentions.
just
It's the
two of
end
us.
result that is, never really the same.
Speak for yourself on the good intentions.
Life is busy and we need to have time for Disney trips. So,
Maybe you guys have been recently. I haven't been since May, and I'm still 3 weeks out from getting there, I think.
Well,
you have one on the
We're
horizon.
blocked out.
So,
That'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, it's actually going to come pretty quick. I've got multiple trips between now and then. It's going to be here quickly. I mean, we were just before the episode trying to figure out how we were going to get recordings done. None of us are in town for any period of time for the next month and a half.
We've been blocked out since December what?
I don't remember. I think like December 19th, maybe we've been blocked out since.
It's been
Yeah,
forever.
you guys have the same pass we do, but I've always said that like the blackout dates are tough, but at the same time, the dates that are blacked out are not the ones where I want to be in the park. So
That's what we said when we got the pass. We were like, that's exactly the time that we don't want to be there. So let's go with that pass.
Yeah.
when I was just there, I was there the 16th to the 18th, and I went to Epcot during the day on the 17th and then to Jollywood on the evening of the 17th. And I was surprised by how not crowded it was. I mean, it was probably less crowded at Epcot than it has been in a long time since I've been there. And I was surprised because knowing that people's annual pass blackout dates were coming, I thought that it might be very crowded. But it was so lovely to be able to stroll around World Showcase and not feel like I was like shoulder to shoulder with people. Like, it was really pleasant. The lines at festival booths were not that long. And then even Jollywood it did not feel crowded. Now, the cast members told us that that was not a sold out night at Jollywood. And if I were to ever do it again, I don't know if there will be a pattern as to how crowded it will be, but I would book that the last Wednesday of Jollywood, because I think that was the last Wednesday night of that event. And I would definitely do that again because I couldn't believe how like short the lines were. I mean, people were talking about how at that Tip Top Club area by Tower of Terror, how the lines for drinks there like were always so long. I was able to walk up twice with no line whatsoever. So I was pleasantly surprised at that. So yeah, that was a good trip for me in terms of crowd levels. It kind of reminded me of the good old days when you didn't feel like it was just a sea of people everywhere you went.
Well, you also were able to go to the park just about any time without a special event ticket after 4 in the afternoon.
Well,
Do you remember
I think
the
that's a good
days?
segue
There used to be.
into talking about tickets.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, did you have some? What were you remembering?
There used to be like a time when I think there used to be like actual weeks when you could kind of plan that the crowds wouldn't be as heavy as what they usually are, but I think those days are kind of gone.
Is that really accurate?
It used to be. I mean, there used to be pretty spot on weeks that you could plan that would be a lot less crowded, but I don't know. I don't think that exists anymore. So to find a day that isn't very crowded is, I mean, it's kind of special.
Well, Disney's gotten very good at drawing people to those off days, and social media has so widely published what those quote unquote quiet times are, they've become the exact opposite of the quiet times.
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, those days are long gone.
And even when it's not busy, they now know what's going to come into the park for staffing, and they just staff lower and run less cars and attractions, so it still feels just as busy. They've gotten very good at keeping it that busy, straight level right across the board.
Yeah, I haven't purchased a Birnbaum's guide to Walt Disney World in a very long time, but I'd be curious to stop at like my local bookstore and look at it because there used to be a crowd level section and like when, like if you're planning when you should plan to go if you were looking for low crowds. And they'd always say like, January, September, like the first couple of weeks of May. But I just don't know that that's true anymore. I mean, I think particularly also because DVC points are now the least expensive for the time that they would say were the least crowded times in the parks. But the DVC resorts are always booked up for those because they are considered like the off season, and so you can stay some places for considerably fewer points. But that means that there's like a ton of DVC members going there at times when there weren't as many DVC resorts at back when before the internet was like a big thing and people were relying on the Birnbaum's guide. Now like DVC resorts are sold out all the time. So I mean I also think that DVC, like the popularity of DVC might have something to do with and because there are so many DVC resorts that are always booked, maybe that has something to do with the shifting crowd levels too, because DVC members have historically wanted to take advantage of those lower point times, but now we're all going during those lower point times.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always read that 70 to 80% of anybody in the park on a daily basis is, in fact, a day guest. I think that when you look at the numbers in each park, I can't imagine that, never mind DVC, but even the resort guests in general are contributing. When you're looking at 80,000, another 90, that's 170, 45 apiece. I mean, there's 250,000 people in those parks on any given day. I think people have just, everyone's on these Facebook sites and these groups and everything else, and it just translates to busy across the board, which is exactly what Disney wants, right?
Consistently making money.
Well, speaking of day guests and tickets,
Yes.
So
we're
I
not
was
going to speak of it.
listening
That was a
to-
very uncomfortable silence. I
No.
thought I gave you the most excellent segue ever.
That was perfect.
Well, I thought you were gonna continue it. I didn't realize there was a handoff happening. But yeah, so I recently saw on, speaking of social media too, I saw like a clip of another podcast where they were talking about what they were saying they've been discussed across social media is if you are a person going to Disney and you have a 4-day park ticket that's only one park per day, because many people, if it's the one vacation you're going on and you're trying to do it in the most efficient way, a lot of people will just buy the one park per day ticket. The question is, what is the correct order to visit the parks? So imagining that, you have 4 full days to go to the parks, one park per day on your trip. What park are you starting with? What park are you ending with? And what order are you doing the other 2 parks?
It's a bold statement to think I'm doing the other 2 parks.
Well, I was going to say, as Phil wrote in our group text, he said, Epcot, 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 Epcot. For the purpose of this discussion, you must visit all 4 parks.
Look, I'm telling you right now, I'm not visiting all 4 parks, and that's going to be one of my biggest points. Absolutely not. If that is the rules, I'm out.
All right,
Feels
fine.
like
So then you go
Magic
first.
Kingdom, Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Disney Springs.
You want me to dive right in? Because I'll dive right in and break the rules right off the bat. I am not wasting.
Do it.
Number one, I'm not wasting a ticket on Animal Kingdom. I'm just going to throw that out right off the bat. What time do they close this time of year? Is it 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock? Which, by the way, is already 3.5 to 4 hours longer than you need to visit Animal Kingdom. I can understand when you look at the rankings of theme parks around the world, why Animal Kingdom falls so low on the list of number of people visiting. I love parts of Animal Kingdom, and we do go to Animal Kingdom. But if you tell me I have an entire day where I need to spend it in one park alone, and I'm spending what they're asking for a ticket, for a day ticket, I am not wasting that ticket on Animal Kingdom. I would much rather, for me, and it kills me because I never do one park for one day. So you're making me get way out of my comfort zone here. We always split our parks. I would do Epcot, Hollywood Studios, maybe Magic Kingdom back to Epcot, but I could flip-flop those last 2 days. It pains me to do Hollywood Studios for the entire day because Hollywood Studios to me is a night park. I love Hollywood Studios at night. I could take or leave it during the day. I'd want to see Epcot numerous times, and I am not wasting an entire park ticket on a park that I will be done with by noontime, 1 o'clock at the latest if we really drag our feet and wait in lines.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about Animal Kingdom, though. Do you think Hollywood Studios is a full-day park?
I think Hollywood Studios is a 3/4 day park unless you're going to wait in those egregiously long lines for Midway Mania and Slinky Dog Dash. In that case, it makes it a full day park because you have no other choice. But if you're effectively using lightning lanes and you're paying for all of that, no, it's a 3/4 day park at most, which is why we'll go over there a couple of nights a trip to hit the highlights that we want to see. I was thinking about it the other day. They did amazing jobs with Magic Kingdom and Epcot. Those can be full day parks. And then I think as beautiful as Animal Kingdom is and as amazing as parts of Hollywood Studio are, they have not built a full day park since 1982.
No, I think you said it perfectly with, I know it's breaking the rules, but Animal Kingdom, is probably best visited during the day and Hollywood Studios is best visited at night. And that was always, for me, when I came down, that was always a definite how I planned my trip. AK, early morning, take a break, jump over to Hollywood Studios later in the day.
Or hit Epcot a few times, and on one of those times now Skyliner over to Hollywood Studios at night, or have dinner somewhere on the boardwalk and move over to Hollywood Studios at night. And I understand why people have the single day, single park tickets. They are far more affordable. If you're hitting it for 4 or 5 days, you get one full day in each park. You go full on commando for that once in a lifetime, once every 5 years. But it kills me as number one, a frequent visitor. Number two, someone with an annual pass and the ability to bop back and forth. I don't know that I could start and stop in one park for the day. That to me just sounds like torture.
Am I a snob? Am I like a DVC snob? Because I feel like if I were to buy a 1 day ticket, I mean, those tickets are expensive. I mean, I don't care if you're going to
Hugely
Animal Kingdom.
expensive.
How do you do a full day at Animal Kingdom? I'm not taking away from what they have. I know there are things behind the scenes, and I'm sure you and Amy are going to talk about, the train rides and the different things that maybe people don't think about. But I still would have an extremely hard time spending an entire day, even though they close at 4 o'clock, like Phil said.
Mid-afternoon now.
I would have a hard time justifying my family of whatever and spending that much money and saying, we're just going to spend that day in Animal Kingdom.
I wouldn't.
Oh, please. argue my point
Yeah, now
because
that I've crapped all over everything, let's hear your optimistic takes.
please.
I mean, I feel like you have to factor in the amount how long it takes for lines. Flight of Passage is always long. That's going to be a long line that you're going to have to factor in. You have to
buying
ride.
my way in.
Yeah, but we're talking about one day to make the most of it. If you're not buying park hopper tickets, you're probably not going to buy lightning lanes. I don't know, but I just feel like if you ride every ride possible, you go and take the train ride and go look at where they like do the surgeries over there, and what is it called over there? I forget.
Rafiki's Planet Watch.
Yeah, that's it. Take your time going over there, eat. I feel like it could be a full day park if you want it to be. You could definitely make it.
I think it would be a painful full day. I think you could stretch it out, but I think it would be a very long, painful.
I don't think it's painful.
I don't think any ride other than Flight of Passage is going to be like what you just said. I mean, occasionally I know Navi River can be ridiculously high for whatever reason. Expedition Everest can get up there sometimes to 35, 40 minutes. But I don't necessarily think with the amount of rides that they have that the ride times are going to be like a huge factor throughout the day. And even like restaurants, if I'm going to say that I'm going to eat, I don't even think Animal Kingdom has that great of, the choices for restaurants.
Well, I don't know. I think if you wanted it to be, it could be a full day park. I mean,
it could be done. It definitely could be, but I don't know that it would be an enjoyable day.
I did it when I did my trip where I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge and I only went to Animal Kingdom. And the one day I spent the day at Animal Kingdom, and then the next day I went back and did the Wild Africa trek. I stayed there for the entire day, and it was. I mean, it's different than going to Magic Kingdom where you're getting on rides at like where that's the strategy. It's like you go and you just try to get on as many rides back to back as possible. While I was there, I think I had lunch at Satuli Canteen. I stopped into Nomad Lounge and had a drink and the churros. I went to Tiffin's for dinner. I scheduled the last possible time for Tiffin's. So I was actually there beyond park closing because I scheduled the last time and the park had closed or was closing as I was leaving. I mean, it was pretty empty. But I think that if you're going to Animal Kingdom as a first time guest, you're going and you're watching the Finding Nemo musical. You're going and you're watching the Festival of the Lion King. You are gonna watch the Up Bird show, which I did. So I did all of the shows on the day that I went. I went to Rafiki's Planet Watch. I did both of the animal trails in Asia and Africa. And I did all the rides. I watched Viva Gaia. I sat and relaxed for a little bit because, you're in a theme park, as particularly Animal Kingdom. It was September. It was hot. So I, sat and relaxed. And it was like a really, really enjoyable day. So I think that you can make Animal Kingdom last a full day. And even if you do leave by like 5:00, because I think that the day that I was there, the park closed. There are some days where the park closes at 8. That's the latest it closes is 8:00. I think that generally speaking, the earliest it closes, I think, is 6. The latest it closes is 8. And I can't remember what time it was there. It was when I went. I think it might have been 6:00 because it was September. But it was late enough where it was dark. So I was able to go over to Pandora and see that, glowing in the dark, and they were doing projections on the Tree of Life. So I was definitely there when it was dark to be able to see some of the dark thing, like the nighttime things. When I did this day, that Kite Tails that's what it was called, right? The inflatable kites that would crash land in the audience.
Routinely.
So I was able to make it a full day.
See, I think this is where
So
I need to work on myself. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. I thought you were done. But this is when you're talking about this, like, this is where I feel like when I hear like you have 4 days, how would you plan it? Like, I immediately go into that structured schedule, go, go, go mode. So Animal Kingdom, like what Amy just said, is a lot more laid back of a park. And that's where I kind of feel like I need to just step back and be, okay, like, chill out.
Yeah.
There's things that you can do, you can enjoy it, and it's okay to take a break. It's okay to go sit at Nomad for an hour or wherever and just sit back and people watch, or, just take in the experience. So yes, I feel like for sure you could spend a day there, but that's me personally. Like I said, I got to work on myself with that because I'm all about just go, go, go.
To me, it's not even about go, go, go. You're still spending an immense amount of money to, number one, self-entertain, to number two, I just looked January when we're going to be there, 6 p.m. across the board. It closes up. I still think you're spending more money for less being provided to you. I just don't think there's a return on investment at Animal Kingdom like there is in the other parks.
I think that self-entertainment is a stretch. I think saying that you have to go to that park and entertain yourself is a stretch. I think it's fair if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy sitting and watching shows and can't enjoy that type of entertainment being provided to you, that's fine. But to say you're self-entertaining, I don't understand what that means.
The thought of I need to break up my day by sitting in the lounge for an hour and then moving over, I can get that experience at home. That's not what I'm looking for when I enter into a park, is to go get the stuff at the lounge. It's not how I was going to spend my day, I guess.
Well, I mean, I'd be sitting and eating no matter what. So whether you're sitting at a lounge or you're going and grabbing, something from a festival booth and eating it there, like, you're going to sit down and you're going to enjoy something for a little bit. But there's so much more than just, going to Nomad Lounge for an hour. Like, for me, that's not self-entertainment. That's actually something I really enjoy doing. And then to be able to go, and if you like animals, that's not self-entertainment. You're going and you're enjoying the animals. If you like live shows, that's not self-entertainment. You're being entertained by other people who are performing. And then you have attractions. So I think that Animal Kingdom is giving you more of a mixed bag of experiences, whereas Magic Kingdom is like primarily rides with a few shows sprinkled in.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with mixed bags. I always throw away half the bag because I don't like it.
Well, you have to be a flexible person in some regards, and some people just aren't flexible.
Again, as I said in the beginning, and I'm not trying to crap all over Animal Kingdom, I think what Animal Kingdom has to offer is quintessential Animal Kingdom, and I appreciate it for what it is, and I appreciate what Joe Rohde did there in the theming, in the animals, and how difficult it is to keep that park up. I just don't see myself, if I were going to spend the money on 4 single-day tickets, I just don't see myself using any of those tickets at Animal Kingdom. That's all. I think the other parks have more to offer.
Well, I think also, just a point of clarification, is that they're not 4 single-day tickets. It's a 4-day ticket, so it's less expensive. Once you get to a 4-day ticket, it's less expensive than if you were to buy 4 individual park tickets. So it's not a park ticket times 4. It's a 4-day ticket, which becomes more efficient as you add days. The multi-day tickets become more efficient. But that's just a point of clarification. But as when I was back when my kids were little, we never were annual pass holders. We only bought 4-day. We would always buy 4-day tickets, and we very rarely bought park hoppers. And so we would always start our trip at Animal Kingdom. And I think it's, we would do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, it's always the earliest park to open. And so being excited, we wanted to get out and get to a park as quickly as we could. But also, we wanted to save the parks that felt more like Disney towards the end of the trip. And so we would always go to Epcot on the last day because it's our favorite park. It was our favorite park. And so we wanted to have that be the last thing. We didn't want to go and then still have 3 days and feel like, you know, we had already done our favorite thing. We wanted to save our favorite thing for last. And so we would always start with Animal Kingdom, and then we would either, depending on what the what the calendar was, like how our trip fell, we would either do Magic Kingdom the next day, and then Hollywood Studios, or we would flip flop those. But typically we would do Animal Kingdom because I'm sorry, Magic Kingdom on the second day, because after going to Animal Kingdom, which while I love that park, and I could make an argument that it's my favorite park, it is the park that feels like the least kind of like, especially when you're with kids, the least Disney of them all. And so we would go to Magic Kingdom so that we could then immerse ourselves into like the feeling of being at Disney World after a day at Animal Kingdom, and then go to Hollywood Studios. And for us, like, dining is always an important part of our trips. And so if we weren't going to make it all the way to park closing at Hollywood Studios, that might be a day where we would plan a restaurant at like California Grill, or someplace a little bit more, someplace at the resort that would take a little bit more time. But without a doubt, every single time, Epcot was the last park, because that is the park that would always give us the biggest feels, and we wanted that to be like the lingering memory that we would have.
You want to go?
I think it just depends on, if it's a solo trip. I mean, obviously it depends on what you enjoy from Disney, or, if you have a group of people with you, like, what are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to show them? Is it kids? Is it adults? I just feel like it just depends on who it is, and that would kind of determine the order of parks that I would pick. But I mean, for me, I've always started with Animal Kingdom. If I had to do one park per day, I think it would probably be Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and then I would finish with Magic Kingdom. Just because I think Magic Kingdom is, it's the one that you think of Disney World, that's pretty much what you're thinking of for most people. And you want to end it with a bang. So I think that's pretty much the order that we would always do, when I came down here before. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You could probably look up, just how many rides does Animal Kingdom have compared to Magic Kingdom, and how many attractions does it have, or how many restaurants does it have. I just think it doesn't really matter. It just depends on what you like and what kind of, what style of vacation you're looking for. Again, are you by yourself? Is it more laid back? Are you with kids? Do you want to get the most bang for your buck and do every single thing? But it's just whatever you enjoy. But if I had to pick, if I'm picking 4 days, 4 parks, I'm going to start with Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios. I love Hollywood Studios too. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I love them all for different reasons, but Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and then Magic Kingdom for me.
Wow. I'm opposite.
You're opposite?
Well, I agree with you. I agree, like, depending on who you're with, I think that does play a role. But if it's just me and I didn't live here and I only had 4 days, 1 park each, I'm probably going to go to Magic Kingdom first, just because it's Magic Kingdom. I'm excited to be at Disney. I want to see the castle. So I'm going to Magic Kingdom, then probably Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and I'm saving Epcot for last because it's my favorite.
It seems to be the biggest, from what I've gathered from what's trending on social media when this question comes up. The biggest debate seems to be between people who think you should go to Magic Kingdom first because of what you just said, and people who think you should go to Magic Kingdom on your last day, like Scott said. Because some people are like, it's Magic Kingdom, it's Disney, like I have to go there right away. Mm-hmm. But then there are people who are saying, but that's like the quintessential, it's the OG park, you save that for last. So that seems to be like the biggest debate, is whether or not Magic Kingdom comes first or last. Very few people are like me who have it someplace in the middle. Because I mean, Epcot for me is a definite last.
Me too.
That's what I meant. Like, that's kind of like when you think of, I think most people think of the castle and they think of Magic Kingdom when they think of coming to Disney World. So that's like, that's the base standard. So you start there.
Yeah.
If you start there, I mean, depending on who you are and what you like, are you going to be disappointed if you start there and then finish, with it? It just depends on how you are, I guess. But I guess if your bar's set really high with Magic Kingdom, you might be disappointed just depending on what you like and who you are.
Well, let me ask you another question. Imagine that, you don't live in Florida and you're you're in Orlando for business or whatever, and you get a 1-day ticket. What park are you going for?
Epcot.
Yeah, it's definitely Epcot for me.
I'm torn. I really am. I'm torn. I don't know where I would go because I love Epcot and I would arguably say it's my favorite park, but there's something so quintessentially Disney magical about Magic Kingdom. It is the OG in Florida, and it's based, in large part on Walt's Dream in California. So there's just something that exists there that does not exist at the other parks. And I always end up, if I'm there for a day, just going over to Epcot. Now, granted, I have an annual pass, so I can bop between the two. But, I'm going to go to Epcot, but I can see why Magic Kingdom would hold a place in this just because of what Magic Kingdom is. But then the elitist in me hops out and I say, I'm not doing a 1-day ticket anywhere. It's worth it to me to be able to jump back and forth. And I think that's really where my biggest issue is in this argument is we have always had hoppers because of the way we vacation. Scott said earlier about it being a painful day to spend all day in Animal Kingdom. And I see these families who, again, I completely understand the economics of those single parks per day, but you see them at the end of day 4 or day 5 when they've had to maximize every single cent that's being spent on those hugely expensive tickets. And you see these poor kids at the end of the day at fireworks when they're on day 3 of an open to close single park day. Those kids are just melting down. The parents are melting down. You see the fights. That's a hard way to vacation. It really is.
It is quite entertaining, though. I will say that. I will never forget to what Phil just said. It is. It's painful. Like it is when you're go, 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 and you're trying to fit in everything that you possibly can. The one experience that I remember more than anything is the mother who looked at her child and said, I hear you telling me that you're having a good time, but I just need you to show me.
I mean, when we would go and do the 4-day tickets, because we were DVC, we would stay for longer than 4 days. So we always had either a resort day or a Disney Springs day planned in between those. So we never were like 4 days back to back from open to close at the parks. We always would have time. And honestly, it's where there would be an argument to have Animal Kingdom possibly be the second or third park because it does close earlier. You're not there until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So it is a park that could be like an easier day, arguably. But I absolutely am an advocate for a resort day or like a Disney Springs day. What interestingly, this year, Disney started selling, part of their summer package, these 3-day 3 park tickets. So it's a 3-day ticket, 1 park per day. It's pretty discounted, but it does not include Magic Kingdom. So, and it was a pretty successful promotion that they are repeating it again in 2026. So you're getting this, I mean, and clearly it's their attempt at crowd control and getting people to go to the other parks because Magic Kingdom is clearly, I mean, it's the most visited theme park in the world. So it's clearly their effort to get people to visit the other parks. That's like kind of a crazy tactic though to me, to go to Disney and go to every park except for the Magic Kingdom. Like that's kind of crazy to me. But to speak to the, if you were given a 1-day ticket, my sorority's convention was in Orlando and in 2016 or 2012 maybe, and as part of the convention package we were given a one-day ticket to Disney that we could use at any park, and the majority of the people from the sorority went to Magic Kingdom, and I went with a handful of people to Epcot, and of course then I made them walk to Jelly Rolls and we ended the night at Jelly Rolls. And I have pictures of us up on stage with the guys back when you were still allowed to go up on stage at Jelly Rolls before people started, I guess, doing weird things on stage with those piano players. But yeah, I mean, give me a one-day ticket, I'm going to Epcot, hands down.
Oh yeah.
Can I throw something in just for shiggles? I mean,
Do it.
one-day ticket. Travel doesn't matter. It's all free travel. If you can throw in the 2 parks over in Disneyland, is it still Epcot for you?
Hard no.
I would say yes, because I feel like if I'm going to Disneyland, I have to have a park hopper. That's just, I don't know. I feel like a park hopper at Disneyland is a must.
Yeah, but I'm only allowing you to pick one park.
Well, that's why I'm saying no. I'm still going to Epcot.
You're still going to Epcot. Okay.
Magic Kingdom, Disneyland all day long. Not even a hesitation in my mind.
How about for you? Would you still choose Epcot?
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
You?
I'm not going to say.
Well, you're the one that asked.
I just feel like there's people that listen to this that are on the West Coast that I would give too much satisfaction to if I said what I wanted to say.
So Scott's coming with me to Disneyland. Here we go.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised at that, but good. That's nice to hear.
Yep.
Does that mean we're going to go to Disneyland sooner?
Stay tuned.
So I won't do a cruise, but I would do a West Coast visit with the Huffs. I'll just throw that out there.
That actually sounds pretty darn nice.
I guess I'm not invited.
Listen, I've been asking him, when are we going to go back to Disneyland? And now you're just saying, oh yeah, we can go back to, like, what?
Oh, no. I think it's like it's obviously not something that I can do very often, but I think if it was like a once a year thing.
No, you said that you didn't want to do it every year. Like,
no, I said once a year would be very ideal, or maybe once every other year. But that to me adds kind of like the excitement and the magic of it. It makes me want to go back.
Because you see Disney World all the time.
Yeah, and I'm not knocking Disney World, but I mean, you see the same stuff over and over again. Sometimes it can make you feel a certain way. But when you don't see it for a year at a time, and let's face it, Disneyland has a kind of a certain magical quality about it, more of a family park, more intimate experience. And I don't know, for sure. Like I get excited thinking about, the travel across the country, seeing something I don't get to see every day.
I'll remember that. You heard, he said it right here.
God, I could just hear Jessica now.
All right, well, I suppose that's as good a place as any to wrap it up.
Sounds good.
All right, well, thank you everyone as always for playing along, even though I didn't play along in this episode because I refused to follow the rules. But even so, if you could head on over to Apple Podcasts.
I think that people are used to you not playing along, Phil. You don't even speak when we talk about cruises.
I play by my rules, plain and simple, people. Like Sinatra, I do it my way. Amy?
If you're not a part of our Facebook group, you can find us over on Facebook at DVC Clubhouse. We're also on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And until next time, we'll DVC you real soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
And so our journey comes to an end.
Oh, no, please, can't we go back to page 1 and do it all over again?
Started this thing together, and that's how we'll finish it.
Because that, my friends, is where the magic lives.
Happily ever